Capitol Hill for several years. We'd worked for a United States senator who'd been murdered and knew how difficult it was to find a new job when the boss departed, electorally or permanently. If Maeve Dixon didn't rally against Mac Hackensack, once again we'd have to hustle to find new staff jobs. Privately, I was beginning to wonder whether continuing to run on the hamster wheel called Capitol Hill made sense. Close campaigns were hell, and our boss was trapped inside the inner circle of Dante's Inferno. Maeve's party controlled the House of Representatives, but if too many Democratic members lost their races, we'd lose the majority. That meant even fewer jobs might be available after the election. Would anyone want to hire a chief of staff who'd failed to get her boss reelected? "Come over and watch," said Brock. We squeezed around his computer as he pressed play on the YouTube video. The title of the video was Personal Foul. Not a good start. I braced myself. Mac Hackensack's face appeared on screen. Standing in the middle of a basketball court, he sported a UNC Champions polo shirt and wore a whistle around his beefy neck. An image of the American flag with an embroidered USA decorated his baseball hat. My politically astute brain churned. Without saying a word, the image conveyed winner and patriot in a single swoop. But Coach didn't stay silent for long. "I've always played by the rules. Work hard, play hard. Those are my values. I'm not afraid of making the tough calls or staying late for practice." Then he walked toward the center court, where the national championship trophy rested on a table. He put his hand on the trophy before speaking again. "When my players do something wrong on the court, the referee calls a personal foul." Then the camera shot tightened. "The voters of the 7th District in North Carolina are the referees. Watch closely how my opponent Maeve Dixon plays the game." The image flashed to a still image of Maeve, standing in front of the Great Wall of China. His voice continued in the background. "While the people of North Carolina were struggling with the economic recession, where was Maeve Dixon? Traveling the world with her liberal colleagues." The next photo showed our boss in front of Big Ben. She was smiling for the camera, her brown hair whipping in the wind. "You deserve better than being represented by a member of Congress who treats her job like a vacation," said the coach. "We shouldn't have tweeted out pictures from her trip to London," I muttered. Meg put her hand on my arm. "It's not your fault, Kit. She was only there for a 2-day parliamentary exchange program." "Besides, she looks great in the photo," said Brock cheerfully. Meg and I glared at our intern, but said nothing. The ad returned to Coach Hackensack, next to the trophy. "Voters, there's only one smart choice." He pointed to the camera and blew his whistle. "Call a personal foul on Maeve Dixon. Elect me as your next congressman." After putting my head in my hands, I could only manage 2 words. Game over. Chapter 2. Despite the heartburn the latest Coach Hackensack ad had given us, there was no rest for the weary. Hill staffers involved in toss-up congressional races lived inside a perennial pressure cooker, but the last day of congressional session before the election doubled the heat. The Speaker of the House was understandably worried about maintaining the majority, so he abruptly halted legislating in the 3rd week of September. The government had been funded, at least for another 5 months, and there was no need to keep sitting members of Congress caged inside the claustrophobic walls of the District of Columbia. During campaign season, politicians locked in tight races were restless tigers. They yearned for their natural habitat, where they could roam free and eat their prey. That meant sending every elected representative back to his or her district. Yes, partisanship reigned the day, but so did the roar of incumbency. I was sitting at my desk, contemplating whether I could somehow persuade House leadership to promote a bill canceling college basketball season this fall. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Just as I was drafting bill language in my mind, Maeve Dixon's voice interrupted me. "Kit, can you tell me when we're going to leave for the event this evening?" My office was so tiny there was barely room for me to swivel around. I almost knocked over my